So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Prof. Anunueva. Before studying the life and works of Rizal, let us first know why do we need to study the life and works of our national hero, Jose Rizal. After the World War II, the Philippines was left not only with the physical destruction, but also with the weakened national identity. Many Filipinos were influenced by foreign culture, and the country was facing serious problems such as communist insurgency, political corruption, and economic dependence on the United States. Because of these challenges, the government believed that the youth needed to develop a stronger sense of patriotism and the love for the country. In 1956, Senator Clara M. Recto introduced the Senate Bill No. 438, or also known as the Rizal Bill. His goal was to make the study of life and works of Jose Rizal mandatory in colleges and universities. Recto believed that Rizal's writings could inspire students to become responsible citizens who values freedom, justice, and nationalism. However, the bill faced a strong opposition, especially from the Catholic churches. The church leaders argued that some parts of Rizal's novels, particularly in Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, criticized the certain practices of the church during the Spanish colonial period. They feared that reading these works might affect the religious beliefs of students and violate their freedom of religion.
In order for us to understand the historical background of Republic Act 1425 or the Rizal Law, we must first understand why it was created. So, after the Philippines gained independence in the year of 1946, many Filipino leaders believed that political freedom alone was not enough. They wanted citizens to develop nationalism, patriotism, and pride in their country. Senator Clara M. Recto believed that Jose Rizal's life and writings could inspire these values because they promoted freedom, justice, equality, and love for the nation. In around 1956, he introduced the Rizal Bill, requiring college students to study Rizal life and works. Historians Renato Constantino also emphasized that studying Philippine history developed national consciousness and responsible citizenship. So now, for the controversy and approval. The Rizal Bill became one of the most controversial law in Philippine history. The Catholic Church opposed the required reading of Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo because the novels criticized the abuses of some Spanish friars. Church leaders feared that students might mistake this criticism as an attack on the Catholic faith itself. But, according to Jose B. Laurel Jr. and John Schumacher, the debate focused on balancing nationalism without religious freedom. A compromise allowed students with valid religious objections to be exempted from reading the original versions of the novels, and this agreement led to the bill's approval, and President Ramon Magsaysay signed it into law on June 12, 1956. For the main provision of the Rizal Law, the Republic Act No. 1425 require all colleges and universities to include the study of Jose Rizal's life, works, and writings in their curriculum. It gives special emphasis to Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo because this novel exposed the injustice of Spanish colonial rule and encouraged students to think critically about freedom, nationalism, and social responsibility. The law also requires schools to provide copies of Rizal work in their libraries. It includes a religious exemption for students with valid objections, reflecting the compromise made during the debates. And overall, the Rizal law uses education to strengthen patriotism, historical awareness, and responsible citizenship.
So now I guess you guys are wondering what is the relevance or why Rizal law is still relevant in today's world. The Rizal Law remains relevant because it promotes national identity by helping us appreciate Philippine history and culture. It also develops critical thinking as we reflect on Rizal's writing and relate them to present day issues. And finally, it encourages civic responsibility by reminding us that every Filipino has a role in nation building and in creating a better future for our country. Now that we have finally discussed what is Rizal Law all about, let's talk about the importance of it. The Rizal Law is important because it preserves the legacy and ideals of Dr. Jose Rizal. It ensures that future generations continue to learn from his life. Even though Jose Rizal is not our official national hero, in fact, he is acclaimed as our national hero, we cannot deny the fact that Rizal served as the catalyst for our freedom. Second is it promotes patriotism and nationalism by encouraging Filipinos to love and value our country. In addition to that is it strengthens civic consciousness and moral values by helping students, not just students but also individuals to become responsible citizens for our nation. And lastly, it by studying Rizal's life and works, we are inspired to contribute positively to our nation or in what do we call nation building.